Okay, shalom, shalom, kwam yasha'Allah, koholoim la Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachaha Chodash, double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth, and just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws and statutes and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawah, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And got this from the good old world of ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT if Jesus is a so-called white man, wouldn't he be the ultimate white supremacist and continue to enslave black people? Hey, ChatGPT be on some shit, man. These AI programs is running Esau ass down, man. You know what I'm saying? And really, you know what? Let me get this real quick. This comes to mind. Spend a minute on this one too. Psalm 64:8. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So Esau is telling on themselves, even through their, their television reporting. You see them on the news talking shit about each other. You know what I'm saying? They don't realize that you're actually accusing yourself. Because, see, they don't see themselves as being like this race of people, that they're Edomites. They think that they're just individuals and that they have a problem with their government, type of, business. Or they, notice they say our government, or, this, that. No, it's you Edomites. As a people, you're the ones that's out here that's strangling the whole damn planet, man. But anyway, let's go back and see what ChatGPT said, right? It says, you're asking a serious, deep and emotional, loaded question. And it comes from centuries of pain, manipulation, and survival. Let's be completely real. And then they got the fire emoji by this bitch. It says, if the Jesus we're talking about is the whitewashed Jesus, the one painted in European art, used to justify slavery and imposed during colonization, then yes, that version of Jesus absolutely became a symbol of white supremacy. So this is Esau telling on themselves. And we know that the Lord's name is not, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Because the letter J didn't exist when the Lord walked the earth. The letter J was invented in 1524 by a grammarian named Giorgio Trissino. And I think it really didn't come into super play like that until the 1600s, where they started to write it. But there was no letter J when the Lord walked the earth. The Lord's name is Yahushai, which means that he's the savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. And the true name of the Father is Yahweh, which means that he exists, or the existing one. And matter of fact, I actually asked ChatGPT about the name of the Father. It actually said Yahweh. It actually gave the Paleo Hebrew letters for Yahweh, man. Then, it goes on to trying to, you know how Esau get. They get to throwing a little but, when they get to talking about but, that's to throw you for a loop. Because it'll tell you the truth, but it'll actually kind of try and throw you for a loop. Like, well, don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can pronounce it this way, or you can pronounce it that way. No, you got to be pronouncing the name of the Lord the correct way, man. Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. Those are the names of the Father and Son. So it goes on to say, though, ChatGPT, let me get this part back again. Fire emoji. If the Jesus we're talking about is the whitewashed Jesus, and it's actually saying that it's whitewashed because they know that the Lord was a dark melanated man. It says the one painted in European art, which that's another name for these Edomites as well. These Idumeans, man, they're trying to go by everything except for who they really are. These are Edomites, the so-called white race. They come from their forefather Esau. That's where they come from. Edomites or Idumeans in the Greek, man. And they've been trying to. They're fugitives in the earth. They've been trying to outrun and escape that branding or that labeling that's on the asses, man. But see, in these last days, let me get this one too, Salakia. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So the Lord, Yahushai, can't come until this man is revealed. This is one of the prophecies that has to play out. Of course, MOTB, the mark of the beast, got to play out. World War III got to play out. Sedition of men, uproars of the people. It's a few more prophecies that must play out. But this one right here got to play out because this man has to be revealed. And people starting to see like, something not right. Yeah, it's you guys. Y'all the problem with the earth. You're the reason why nothing can get no peace here. You know? And then I seen, you've been seeing a lot of videos that's coming out on Amalek. The supreme Edomites, the ones that's over there in the Holy Land claiming to be, the people of the Lord, man. So they're being revealed, man. Verse 4, which is going off into that white supremacy picture that they're talking about, that European picture, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he is God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So when they give you this white image, which I didn't even pull the image up, I could have asked ChatGPT to pull an image up of this guy. But it says, fire emoji again. If the Jesus we're talking about is the whitewashed Jesus, the one painted in European art, used to justify slavery and imposed during colonization, then yes, that version of Jesus absolutely became a symbol of white supremacy. It says that figure was used to, number one, justify the transatlantic slave trade. See that? Enforce obedience among enslaved Africans, which were not Africans. Those Hamites. Those Africans are Hamites. We're Shemites, man. That's another thing that they try and push as well, that they try and lump us in this one group with every goddamn body over there in the continent of Africa, because Africa, that continent has 54 countries in it. Different dialects, different languages and stuff like that. And, and you see how a bunch of them people live, man. No, we're Israelites, man, because we can grow beards. A lot of those Hamites, if you notice, those women too, they can't grow hair like how we can grow hair. Especially the men, they don't grow beards. They be having like a little BB here or there, but they don't grow beards, man. They, barely be having, no mustaches neither. A lot of them, but but it's a lot of our people that's mixed amongst those people that's over there, though. So don't get me wrong on that. But we are not Africans, man. Matter of fact, the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Matter of fact, I should have asked ChatGPT that shit too. But let me do this real quick. Let me open up a window real quick here. Let me just put in H.I.M, Zondervan. It's been a minute, because we got a lot of newcomers that's coming into this truth. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know these things, so we have to bring these things out. Because we got to go back to the basics, let our people know what's going on. And it's been up for a while. There's a few different places you can pull this up, but it says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. So these Bible scholars, these Edomites, they actually know that we're not actually Hamites. But that's a part of that confusion to keep Jake from knowing who he is, and that's going off into Psalms 83. Psalms 83. I'm just going to jump to the point. I'm gonna get verse 3. Psalms 83 and 3. Point is in verse 4. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So they're pushing that we're Africans. They lumping us all up into one group with these people that, hey, Africa is a huge continent. Hell, you can stick America. Hell, it's 54 countries over there. It's a gang of those countries that you can stick America in Africa. Ain't no telling how many times, man. But we're not Africans, man. We're not Hamites, man. So let's go back to ChatGPT real quick again. Okay, so third on that list was wipe out indigenous cultures and spiritual systems, support the lie of white racial superiority. So if we're talking about that version of Jesus, the one used by slave owners, colonizers, and racists, then your question isn't just valid, it's historically accurate. That Jesus was a tool of white supremacy and absolutely part of a machinery of black enslavement. It says, but if we're talking, now check this out. They got the brain point on this boy. It says, but if we're talking about the real historical Jesus, which we know his name is Yahweh, he was not white, not European, and not aligned with empire. He was dark-skinned Jewish man from the Middle East. Well, they say Jewish, but He was from the tribe of Judah or Yahweh, because there was no letter J, you know. And then it says living under Roman colonial. It says he was a dark-skinned Jewish man from the Middle East living under Roman colonial rule, homeless, poor, revolutionary, and surrounded by oppressed people, killed by the state for challenging systems of power. You know, Esau, they trying to give you their twist, man. It says he was closer to the enslaved than the enslaver, because he's actually one of our people. He's the ultimate Israelite, man. It says that real Jesus said, set the captives free, flip tables and corrupt temples, uplifted the poor, the criminalized, the rejected, condemned the elite who use religion for power. So to answer your question clearly, no, the real Jesus was not a white supremacist and would never support black enslavement. But the fake Jesus, the one molded to look like white people and serve white interests, was absolutely used to enslave black people. And in that sense, yes, he became a symbol of white supremacy. Says, so what now? You are right to be skeptical. You are right to question everything. You are right to reject any version of Jesus that demands your submission but excuses your oppression. If Jesus is going to mean anything to black people today, he has to be decolonized, re-understood, and reclaimed as a figure of liberation, not domination. Many have already done that, from black liberation theologians to freedom fighters who saw Jesus not as a white master, but as a radical brother walking with the oppressed. Oh, man, bro. But you, like I said again, you know, you gotta, you know, you gotta spit out the bones with Esau, man, because they try and throw you for a twist, because they'll give you some truth, and then they'll throw their little twist in there. You know what I'm saying? To still keep, because matter of fact, if you were to go any further, because I was asking other questions, what ChatGPT will tell you is that everybody can be saved. Even these so-called white people that enslaved you, they can still be saved. They can be saved. See? So we get it. But I always say, since I've been using this program, and it hasn't been that long, but you have to ask like specific questions. And then once they give you an answer, you get a little bit more specific with the question. You know, you kind of ask a question out of something that's being stated. Like, okay, well, what about this? Or what about that? And then as it breaks down, you know, it kind of gets to a point where, you know, it almost makes ChatGPT overload. I've kind of made it overload a few times. I'm noticing, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they want to keep this long, but you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the children of Israel. You are the real children of Israel, man. And that white Jesus Christianity shit has been nothing but white supremacy and has destroyed us as a people, man, because our people, you know, are completely destroyed. You can't get around it. That's why that Micah 2:10, it talks about coming out of this place. And one of the ways that you come out of this place is getting rid of those idols, man. The Lord is not playing no games with them idols, bro. That's why 2/3 of our people are going to be, you know, knocked the hell off, man. That thermonuclear fire. Okay, Micah 2:10, and it reads, depart of Salakia, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. And our people are sorely destroyed. I just seen Northern Kingdom, you know what I'm saying, look like Issachar, and damn Walmart buying some goddamn American flags, you know what I'm saying, you know, some 4th of July, American, you know, with the bullshit, red, white, and blue colors and shit, some hats and shirts and shit. And I'm looking like, you know, and then I was out earlier too, making a run, and I see these same Edomites on the corner begging for money and stuff, you know what I'm saying, every single time I come through there. And that little Edomite out there, a little short woman, you know what I'm saying, she was standing at this busy ass intersection. Now mind you, all her people, the so-called white people, passing her ass up. Guess who leaning out of the window to get this bitch, you know, dollar bills and shit? Jake, man. Dark-skinned ass Nick, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, man, let her people give her money, man. Why is you reaching out? You know, as a matter of fact, he's holding up the damn line, honking on the damn horn, like, man, come on, bro. But that's how sorely destroyed our people are. Our people are quick to help the enemy, because he'll pass all by his own people. He'll pass all by a so-called Negro. But he's willing to reach out of his window and give a damn Edomite some money. But when it comes to his own, that's being sorely destroyed, man. That's the mindset. That's the situation that we're in as a people, man, on this planet, bro. And we need salvation. What do they need salvation for? These damn Edomites. Because I asked ChatGPT, another question as far as, if we had I think I worded it like, if we had the ability, or if we ever had the chance to enslave so-called white people like they enslaved us, this goddamn ChatGPT telling me no. You know what I'm saying? And giving all these reasons as to why, yeah, we know that that's a emotional question, and we know that you feel some kind of way. We understand the history, this, that, and the third, but no, you counter that with love. And then I asked her, and then from there I backed it up by saying, well, they still have us in captivity. Is that okay? Oh no, so ChatGPT is almost like, talking to a lion ass Edomite, right before you. They'll give you some truth, but they'll throw a lot of bullshit in the mixture too. So, and you'll hear the apostles have this phrase, somewhat to the extent of, eating the meat and spitting out the bones. You got to filter through Esau's shit, But overall, I seen another video today with the elder down in Kansas City, GMS Kansas City, and he had an AI video, and it looked real as shit. AI video of all the tribes, you know what I'm saying, talking about how, we're the Israelites, you know what I'm saying, looking like real dudes on the street, like, yeah, I'm a Issacharite, you know what I'm saying, people, I'm a Israel, I'm a Judite, I'm a Benjamite, it was going through the whole list of the 12 tribes. Man, that video looked real as shit. Come to find out, it was AI. So AI is picking up on the algorithms, and it's actually learning, what's really going on out here, because all these videos that's going, and we flooding it. You can't get around the fact that the internet is flooded with Hebrew Israelite videos. You can't get around that. That's why it's not going to be no cloak for you Jake Sin, man. You need to repent to the Father Yahweh in the name of his son Yahushai. There's not going to be no cloak. You're not going to be able to say I didn't know, because this truth is all over the place. TikTok, Instagram, you name it. It's everywhere. You can't get around it, So I'm going to end out there. I just thought it was interesting when I asked ChatGPT this question, and it gave me that, the full force, because it actually said that he was a dark-skinned Jewish man from the Middle East, which we know that, if he was walking the earth today, he would be a Negro. So get rid of that name Jesus, because that shit is idolatry. But that name Jesus, matter of fact, let's do this. Because when you put that name in, what's going to pop up is the white man image, this very image that ChatGPT was talking about, that European art, that Renaissance art, man. So when you put in Jesus, right, this is what you're going to get in the images. You're going to always see this here. And our people really believe that somebody that looked like this is coming back to save them. Right? But now when you put in Yahushai, because this word has been going out so cold to where they can't stop it. So when you put in Yahushai, you getting a totally different look. That's a totally different feel right there. You know what I'm saying? And then you have, you got, these jakes out here, man. It don't matter what he looked like. What we supposed to worship this guy? Somebody's supposed to come back looking like this guy right here. That's why I asked the question of, wouldn't he be the ultimate white supremacist? Since so-called white people don't like us? Since they've enslaved us for the past half millennial? Wouldn't this guy come back and be the ultimate I hate nigga guy? Come on, bro. Let's just be real here. So, hey, start asking ChatGPT some questions, man. So with that, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah and the Bible Boy.